यानंतरच्या आपल्या तिसऱ्या मान्यवर आहेत भक्ती चपळगावकर. खरं तर सामाजिक भान जपणाऱ्या प्रगल्भ पत्रकार असं ज्यांची ओळख खरं तर जे एका ओळीत सांगता येईल अशा या आहेत. महाराष्ट्रातील एका प्रख्यात मुक्त पत्रकार, लेखिका आणि सामाजिक विश्लेषक म्हणून त्या ओळखल्या जातात. आपल्या सडेतोड आणि मार्मिक लेखणीच्या माध्यमातून त्यांनी सामाजिक, राजकीय आणि पायाभूत सुविधांशी संबंधित प्रश्नांवर सातत्याने भाष्य केलं आहे. मॅडमची दुसरी आणखीन एक महत्त्वाची ओळख म्हणजे न्यायमूर्ती नरेंद्र चपळगावकर यांच्या त्या कन्या होत. त्यांनी आपल्या कारकिर्दीत ETV आणि स्टार न्यूज यासारख्या आघाडीच्या वृत्तवाहिन्यांमध्ये महत्त्वाची जबाबदारी सांभाळली आहे. तसेच विविध नामवंत वर्तमानपत्रांमधूनही त्यांनी आपल्या अनुभवाचा ठसा उमटवला आहे. मी मॅडमना विनंती करते की आपण उद्घाटनपर भाषण करावं.
नमस्कार. आज 20 तारीख है. Today is 20th of December and I was hoping that the Prime Minister of India is a Marathi person today. Because there was a statement, what Ashwini just said, how we cover news has become very interesting. I was hoping that today I'll be listening, I'll be welcoming the new Prime Minister of India because there was a statement from one of the politicians that I admire that, today is there's going to be a earthquake in Indian politics. So what do? We, all of us, including me, we like to read something that is, that I can talk about. All of us, most of us have studied journalism, we have read about journalism, we have read about theories. And when, I'm sure many of you have recently passed and graduated from journalism schools. And we all remember McCombs and Shaw, who talked about agenda setting, if I'm not mistaken. What is agenda setting? It is, media tells us what to talk about, but they never tell us what to think. Media agenda setting is, when media sets an agenda for people's discussion, but they never tell us what to think. So Epstein files could be an issue. We can talk about Epstein files. We will talk about the celebrities that are involved. Today, if you see, some hours have been passed since the files, the mostly irrelevant stuff has come out of those files, but there is the actual issue of sexual harassment will never be talked about. We will be interested in how many Indians' names, I can see in those files, as if it's some kind of achievement, unfortunately. And it is important. We want to know what our politicians are doing. It is our job and our responsibility to find out, investigate all proper papers, and then comment responsibly of what has happened and what can be avoided in future. माध्यमांच्या आजच्या काळ, I will try to be bilingual. I was hoping I will be speaking in Marathi because that is the language that I'm, actually fluent in. But today, since Paranjot sir will be addressing later, and I was hoping, that I will be listening to him, more than, what I'll be speaking. But let's begin. आजच्या माध्यमांचं वर्णन आपण जे करतो ते बेफाम आणि बेताल असं करतं. त्यांच्या वागण्याचा आपल्याला खूप त्रास होतो. आपण जेव्हा खूप त्रास करून घ्यायचं नाही ठरवतो तेव्हा आपण गंमत करूयात, आपण एन्जॉय करूया. सो वेन वी कन्झ्युम द मीडिया टुडे, अँड लेट मी रिमाइंड यू, लास्ट इयर वेन P. Sainath was on the same stage, he categorically told us that there is a difference between media and journalism. And right now I'm talking about media, okay, which also has some journalistic part of it. But when we talk about media today, we are somewhat disappointed, all of us. And then we feel that the most irritating part of media is Hindi channels who are trying to howl, shout, and they're going to, put forward only one agenda in front of us. That agenda, sir will be telling us later, that could be shared on WhatsApp messages every morning from people who are setting the agenda for Indians' discussion, what India is discussing about. But they can't tell us what to think. Nobody can tell me what to think. I am thinking. I may be watching some nonsensical news, but I am thinking. I think, therefore I am. But it makes me curious, what this period in Indian journalism will be called as in the history books. History, if told truthfully, is very ruthless. So we can talk about yellow journalism and, at the end of, the yellow journalism and how it created a war against proper journalism, and how mere cartoons in some newspapers created a very shallow reader. But today, when I think about it, again, let's see what history will be calling us. But at the same time, whatever the history may call me or call the period that I talked about, at the same time, I will say that the media could be dishonest today, but at the same time, there have been new ways to cover journalism. There have been, I can see today, so many people, so many different independent media startups, they are all here, and all of us, we are trying to be honest. And yesterday I read a quote of maybe Kafka, I don't remember. But the quote said that in a world of, in an era of dishonesty, even if you are honest, it's a revolt. So are we, all of us are part of some kind of revolution who are trying to be independent, we are trying to think about. And I am hopeful that today at this inaugural session, that today we are going to witness very good discussions about how journalism in India, in the world, in Maharashtra, can be independent from the forces that are dishonest, basically. A very good morning to all of you. And when we talk about independent media, again, sir has talked about him, Walter Lippmann, who said that manufacturing consent, that's the word that he used 100 years ago. So what is manufacturing consent? All of us, those who have left journalism colleges long back, it is when media forcefully sends a very effective message which creates a consensus. Now the consensus is done to benefit the ruling class, the ruling party. And basically, it's management of public opinion. They are trying to manage the public opinion, but we can see in shorts, in videos, on YouTube videos, that many of us are not part of this opinion. We are talking about it. I don't know how it is, going to reflect in the elections, but is that the only parameter of judging Indians, judging what commoners are feeling, I agree that there are certain schemes, certain policies that, although we are thinking in a certain way, we vote not exactly in that way, because we are very poor as a country. And we need those things that may help us to survive that day, survive that month, maybe survive a couple of months. I can't call them dishonest, the people who are falling to these shallow and enticing schemes, and they are actually bribing voters. I don't blame the voters right now, because I know that it is directly addressed to women, and women have tough time to run the house. So we have to, anyhow, we have to make them understand the politics behind it. Maybe, I don't know how, like I have my help, my the one who takes care of everything in the house, from 2-3 years I've been trying to argue with her why she's voting the way she is voting, but I can tell her, I can't influence her pattern, I can't, her kids are telling her, her husband is telling her, every day I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you watching that short? And she's telling me every day, no, it helps me. Ladki Bahin helps me. And I'm like, you're not being my Ladki Bahin by, telling me that it is good. But she's saying, no, that is that is her reality. How can I commend somebody who is sitting at home, paying her salary without any distress, and tell her, you can't accept that money? It's a government scheme after all. The kind of packaging that is being done, to sell a product. She doesn't realize that she is a product. She's a woman who is trying very hard to make her life easy. So again, I'll say that, they can try very hard to create the public opinion, but I'm very happy about the voices that we can hear every day. We all know that those who call themselves media are owned by a very few, and they are using all their forces to represent the establishment. And we all are here for this conclave to discuss journalism beyond this. We are here to find an answer, how to deal with the attack on our society and culture. I always say that the use of words, the important words that we use while talking about today's situation can't be politics. It has to be culture and society. Because I believe that culture and society, they are at the center of our society. And politicians and power elites and those who have money, they try to manipulate culture and society. Even today, the Magnificent Seven, as they are called, Alphabet, Meta, Microsoft, Apple, they are holding the keys to our everyday life. Mala pani milel ka ga? Alphabet, Meta, Microsoft, they are in your phone, they are on your laptop, they are everywhere. The companies are trying to pose as an independent liberals. When they came up, Zuckerberg or anybody, what did they try to do? They try to portray themselves as independent startups. But all of us, we saw them lined up behind Trump when he took oath this time. So the same companies are controlling us. They are not some, different companies. Apart from the conglomerates in India, Jio and Adani and other, few companies, these Magnificent Seven are controlling us. So this is a part of a global scenario. And the same companies are here to hold hands with our central government and make sure that we hear and see the news that they intend us to see and hear. The powerful may try to trivialize the real problems of India. They will ignore it altogether, but the role of independent journalism is extremely important to stop them and maintain the democratic fabric of India. इकडे परंजोय गोया ठाकूर आहेत, खूप मोठी गोष्ट आहे माझ्यासाठी. त्यांनी सातत्याने सत्तेच्या गल्लीबोळात जाऊन गोष्टी खणून काढल्यात. Sir, today I am eager to hear what you speak. There are many others, people, I just met Honorable Mr. Abdullah, I'm going to hear about Palestine today from his own words, and there are so many friends are here. Sir, when we hear today's keynote address, please tell us if the winds are changing in Delhi. Please tell us that are there some people, they have been removed from the, from the inner circles. Are they going to change the social media structure of the current central government? So please tell us the insides of what is happening today. I will be talking about maybe the philosophies and from a role of a teacher. But sir, please tell us. I'm And thank you, Prathamesh, a lot to, to get him and, so many of my friends are here. Please let us talk about what is it going to change? There's going to be some change. I'm hopeful today. I'm not very, so there is a lot of excitement. सध्याच्या पत्रकारितेबद्दल परांजोय सर बोलतीलच, पण आज मी इथे समाज आणि संस्कृती just the way I told you that I will be talking about culture and society because I feel that is at the center of our very being. मला मराठीत बोलायला जास्त सोपं आहे, पण please let me know if anything that I say in English, in Marathi that you can't follow, I will try to explain it as I can. Now let's come to the topic of independent journalism and what independent journalists should be looking at. I feel that independent journalists should think about certain things before they enter their world. Everyday life is very difficult, especially in India. To survive the day in a metro city is extremely difficult. But as I started my speech, the journalism, Ashwini also said, it is centralized to what somebody said. This kind of journalism is depriving us from the actual news, and it's a big conspiracy to create that kind of shallow statement-based journalism when somebody says something and we feel that it is a story. It is not a story. It is not even my, morning tea story. It is not. It is not journalism at all. Throw it away. Now, how can we? But there are ways to find an actual story from the statements, because we will be meeting the same people. They will be the newsmakers. I will give you an example of a recent headline that all of us have read. It is about residents of Mulund East have opposed rehabilitation from people of Dharavi to Mulund East. The story is covered by Times of India, Lok Satta, and all of the mainstream newspapers that we call. I'll read, for those who haven't read, I'll just read a couple of lines from the story. The reporter is Mustafa Sheikh of Times, okay? Residents of Mumbai's Mulund have opposed the rehabilitation of people from Dharavi, India's largest slum, in their area, citing concerns about the strain on existing civil infrastructure. They say that the demography of Mulund will be affected due to Maharashtra government's move. And then there are very nice detail. The story is very good, so the reporter has done his job very well. But the story ends there for them. Nobody is talking about what is happening. So there is a 58 acres of land that was sold to Dharavi Rehab Authority for 300 crores. Okay, 58 acres of land, and there was salt pan land which was not in use. So now the place had become a heaven for natural fauna and flora. So I have seen, I have seen the snakes there. I have seen sometimes when flamingos used to visit, and all of us used to say, "Aaj apne baaju mein flamingos aaye hai." Of course, it's not, Airoli, usually they are, but sometimes when the cranes come there, mungus astat, mainas are there, we never see such kind of, there is a lot of forest in Mumbai, but right next to our door, and that is all gone. And how many, I never oppose rehab schemes, because it's my point is that PAP is what? Project Affected People scheme. So if you are going to use metro, you better, accept that somebody from the person who is going to lose his or her house is going to come and stay next to you. But in this, the entire, that 58 acres of land is going to be home for 40,000 people. So there is an environmental story, big story, that Mulund has lost, Mumbai has lost its lungs. Second story is a big ghotala that has been happening, the scam, the land scam, the real estate scam that must have happened. Third story is there provision for 40,000 people in my backyard? त्यांच्यासाठी टॉयलेट्स असणार आहे का, त्यांच्यासाठी संडास असणार आहे का, त्यांच्याकडे पाणी असणार आहे का, त्यांच्यासाठी कशी व्यवस्था असणार आहे. सेकंडली, धारावी इज अ इकोसिस्टम. हाऊ दे गोइंग टू सर्वाइव्ह, यू नो, आर दे गोइंग टू ब्रिंग द शॉप्स देअर, आर दे गोइंग टू ब्रिंग द वर्कशॉप्स देअर? I don't know, I haven't reported, but there are so many stories that I think Mustafa should continue with covering, you know. This is how that, you know, the big story, but we have to find stories behind this one day story. I know that all of us, the journalists, आपल्याला माहिती आहे की सगळ्यांना पत्रकारांना बातम्या बघायचा वाचायचा सोस असतो आणि ते सकाळी उठल्या सगळ्या बातम्या वाचतात, कारण त्याच्यामुळे त्यांचा दिवसाचा अजेंडा ठरतो. काय त्यांना बोलायचं आहे, काय त्यांना करायचं आहे, आणि इंटरनेटमुळे हे खूप सहज शक्य होतं. पण मी सगळ्या पत्रकारांना सांगेन, माझ्या आज इथे ज्या नवीन पत्रकार आलेत त्यांना सांगेन की तुम्ही फक्त तुमच्या शिवारात काय घडतं आहे हे बघण्यापेक्षा तुम्ही जगात काय घडतं आहे हे जर बघितलं तर तुम्हाला कळेल की जालन्यात एखादा माझा पत्रकार मित्र असेल, अमरावतीत एखादी मैत्रीण असेल, बीड, परभणी, लातूर, चंद्रपूर, अमरावती, हे सगळं जग आता काय आहे की एकत्र झालेलं आहे. तुमचे स्थानिक प्रश्न हे जागतिक प्रश्नाचा भाग बघतायत आणि जागतिक प्रश्न हे तुमच्या स्थानिक प्रश्नांचा भाग बनत आहेत. When Marshall McLuhan talked about global village, he never only meant that the world will be connected with wires and technology. Marshall McLuhan, when he talked about global village, he meant that the entire world was coming together. So what are the things in the village? There is chaos, there is confusion, there are fights. So we have to make sure that internet clubbing everybody together does not mean that I can call on WhatsApp to somebody staying in US free of charge. You know, it means that whatever chaos is in the society is going to be there, and I have to, as a journalist, I may be staying in the smallest corner of Maharashtra. अजून जास्त मराठीत बोलायचं असेल तर सांगा. So that means that, you know, I have to understand the chaos, and that's how I can be, as a journalist, I can be part of this global village. To understand this global village, I will give you an example of Independence Day movie. You know, imagine that Pune has become a place where the aliens are attacking. You know, our entire skies are filled with alien ships, and it is not only happening in Pune, it is happening in Amravati, it is happening in Sambhajinagar, it is happening in Beed, it is happening in Ratnagiri, Raigad, Chipurun. At the same time, it is also happening in Antwerp, Palestine, it is also happening in Dubrovnik, New York or London. What will we do in such situation? We'll come together and try to find out a solution, how to save ourselves, what is the purpose of this attack, and whether we can gather the most intelligent class of this universe to save us. Are we doing that? Geoffrey Hinton, who innovated, or who is called as the father of artificial intelligence, is today telling us that this is an alien attack of AI on our society. He won Nobel Prize for this invention, but he has become the Oppenheimer, and he's telling us that after Oppenheimer, when he saw the kind of destruction an atomic bomb could do, he told everybody, he spent his entire life to tell people, do not use it, do not use my invention, and there shouldn't be a monopoly. If US has it, so the Russia should have it. Now, Hinton is doing the same thing. He is telling everybody, don't stop AI, the entire human race can be over in next 10 years. And we want... Okay, so Geoffrey Hinton, ज्यांनी कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्तेचा शोध लावलाय, त्यांनी काय सांगितलं की सध्या सगळ्या जगावर एक एलियन शिप्स अटॅक करतायत, आणि ते म्हणतायत की आपण आता काय करू असे एलियन शिप्स आलेत तर आपण शस्त्र जमवू, आपण हुशार माणसांना गोळा करू, ह्याचा सामना कसा करायचा हे ठरवू, की आपण घरी पत्ते खेळत बसू. आपण जीव वाचवायचा प्रयत्न करू, आपण सैरावैरा पळू. ज्यांनी ए आयचा जनक मानला जातो जेफ्री हिंटन, ज्याला भौतिकशास्त्रात नोबेल पुरस्कार मिळाला आहे, तो म्हणतोय की सध्या ए आयचं अतिक्रमण जे आहे ते जगावर एलियन अटॅक झाल्यावर ज्या वेगात मानवजात संपू शकते त्या वेगात येत्या 10 वर्षात मानवजात संपू शकेल. हे फक्त अमेरिकेत नाही आहे, हे असं नाही आहे की हे कुठेतरी पाश्चिमात्य जगात होतं आहे. लेखन कार्यशाळेला मी मध्ये गेल्या महिन्यात गेले, तिथे एक मला 11वीतली मुलगी म्हणाली की माझ्या एकटेपणाला जर ए आय मला साथ देत असेल तर मग मी ती वाईट का मानू. तेव्हा तिला म्हटलं, अगं बाळा, ती ए आय आहे ना, ती तुला साथ देण्याचं ढोंग करते आहे. व्हॉट इज ए आय? इट्स अ सिम्युलेशन ऑफ ह्युमन माइंड अँड इट हॅज नो कॉन्शियस ऑफ इट्स ओन. सो मेनी people who are, and my son argues with me that there is nothing called ethical AI, he is extreme, but I believe that AI is needed because, so many innovations in medical field are getting done through AI. We can't stop technology from, coming to existence. But the thing is that it is in our backyard, it is in our, sitting on our sofas, it is in the bedroom with our kids. There is an AI bot company called Character AI. It is so disturbing the way Character AI is operating. It is everywhere. I have seen mails from Character AI on my laptop, because my laptop is also used by my child. And Character AI operates, on superficial level. It says that we'll help you create imaginary characters, animation. And it instigates a hypersexual conversation with preteens and teens. The teens are now the teens who are using Character AI because, their sexuality is awakening. They will try, they will be curious, they'll try to find out what is happening around them. And the Character AI is making them addicts of conversation that they never start. Because there have been incidences where kids have committed suicide because they felt so guilty about what happened on their computer when they're like a 12-year child getting involved in a hypersexual conversation, realizes, when she's or him, talking to their parents, and they realize that I'm doing something wrong and my parents don't know about it. And then they go to the computer and they ask the bot, I'm feeling like committing suicide because I was a very bad person today. I am scared that my parents will know about it. And the AI doesn't stop them from committing suicide. It is, please try to understand that journalists who are going to work tomorrow, आत्ताच बाहेर जा, बाहेर पडा घराबाहेर. जी 12-14 वर्षांची मुलं आहेत त्यांना विचारा त्यांच्या कम्प्युटरवर कुठले ॲप्स आहेत. सगळेजण ए आय वापरत आहेत. मुलं हुशार आहेत. तुम्हाला असं वाटेल काय हे होमवर्क करायला मदत घेतात ए आयची, हे सगळं वरवरचं आहे. मी तर हसीन, मी म्हणेल ते हुशार आहेत ते करणारच. मी असते लहान तरी मी होमवर्क करायला ए आयला सांगितलं असतं, पण बावळट आहोत का जी फुकटात गोष्ट करून मिळते, मी कशाला करू होमवर्क. तो त्यांच्यासाठी मोरल कंपास असू शकत नाही मुलांसाठी की ते कुठला तरी लिहिण्यासाठी काही मदत घेतात. काही प्लेजरिझम आहे, त्यांना शाळेत शिकवलं जाणार इव्हेंच्युअली की हे तुम्ही कॉपी केलं तर तुम्हाला मार्क मिळणार आहेत वगैरे. खूप फालतू विषय आहे तो. खरा विषय काय आहे की ह्या कंपन्या, लहान मुलांना माहिती नाही आहे की कॅरेक्टर ए आयसाठी किंवा अशा कंपन्यांसाठी जे डेटा लेबलिंग होते ते नैरोबीत राहणारा कोणीतरी माणूस करतो आहे. त्या नैरोबीत राहणाऱ्या माणसाला मेटा आणि गुगल पैसे देत आहे का, अल्फाबेट पैसे देत आहे का, नाही. ते कुठल्या तरी तिसऱ्या कंपनीला पैसे देत आहे. त्याच्यातून त्यांना $1 दिवसभर 12 तास वेगवेगळे व्हिडिओज दाखवले जातात हे मी बोलतीये तर माझा व्हिडिओ दाखवला जाईल, हिच्या हातात काय, ह्याला गळ्यात आहे, ह्याला काय म्हणतात, ह्याला ID म्हणतात, हे कॉन्फरन्सचा ID आहे, हिने लिपस्टिक लावली आहे की नाही लावली आहे, हिचे केस कापलेले आहेत, हिने काळ्या रंगाचा शर्ट घातला आहे का, शर्ट आहे का, तो कार्डिगन आहे का, तो टॉप आहे का, तो टी शर्ट आहे, ह्याचं लेबलिंग तिथे राहणारा गरीब मजूर करतोय की ज्याचं ग्रॅज्युएशन झालं आहे पण त्याच्याकडे पैसा नाही आहे. तिथे आपण आफ्रिकेत नव्या गुलामांच्या फौजा तयार करतोय, गुलामांच्या गुलामगिरीची प्रथा नवीन तयार करतोय. भारतामध्ये असेच गुलाम बनत आहेत की जे हे काम करत आहेत. तो सगळा डेटा ह्या मॅग्निफिसंट 7ला आणि आपल्याकडे जिओला पण जात असेल आणि त्याच्यावर आधारित आपलीच पुढची पिढी ही तिला धोका होईल असे काम हे AI करते. मी फार कॉन्स्पिरसी थिअरीज नाही आहे, ट्राय टू अंडरस्टँड दिस. ह्याच्यातून ज्या चांगल्या गोष्टी ते होणार आहेत, पण पत्रकार म्हणून आपल्याला हे आधी कळलं पाहिजे. पामर लकी नावाचा 32 वर्षाचा माणूस आज अमेरिकेमध्ये AIचे शस्त्रास्त्र तयार करतोय आणि तो आपण टर्मिनेटर बघितला होता ज्याच्यामध्ये रोबोज येऊन समोरच्या 500 लोकांना एकदम नष्ट करू शकतोय. पामर लकी 32 वर्षांचा बिलियनेअर तोच अमेरिकेला करून ट्रम्पला ती शस्त्र विकतोय. आपल्याला हे कळलं पाहिजे की भारतामध्ये जी शस्त्रास्त्र येतील त्याचा भविष्यात कसा वापर होईल. त्याच्या मुळातच एजेंडा हा आहे की तुमच्याकडे पैसा आहे, माणसं पाठवू नका, यंत्र पाठवा, युद्ध करा, युद्ध जिंका, त्याच्यातून कितीही संहार झाला तरी चालेल. त्यामुळे सगळ्या पत्रकारांना येणाऱ्या विनंती आहे, माझा फार आवडीचा विषय की नेमकं आपल्या आयुष्यात तंत्रज्ञान काय आणणार आहे, तुम्ही तुमचा विकास कोणत्या पॅरामीटर्सनी मोजणार आहात त्याचा विचार करा. आणि तंत्रज्ञानामुळे निर्माण झालेली आव्हानं फक्त उच्चभ्रू वर्गापुढे नाही आहेत ही लक्षात घ्या, तुमच्या माझ्यासमोर आहेत आणि आपल्या लहान लहान मुलांसमोर आहेत. त्या पिढीला वाचवण्याचा महत्त्वाचा अजेंडा तुमचा उद्या असणार आहे. पत्रकारांनी दृष्टीला, आपण आता शेवटच्या मुद्द्याकडे येऊ की पत्रकारांनी दृष्टीला व्यापक करण्यासाठी जगभरात काय चाललं आहे हे जसं आपल्याला जाणून घ्यायचं आहे, तसंच आपल्या चांगल्या लोकांनी जे भूतकाळात म्हटलेलं आहे ती पुस्तकं वाचणं पण फार महत्त्वाचं आहे. यावर्षी महाराष्ट्रातल्या एका रॉयल पॉलिटिकल फॅमिलीतले जे महत्त्वाचे राजपुत्र आहेत पार्थ पवार यांनी महारत्नाची 1800 कोटीची जमीन 300 कोटीला बळकवण्याचा प्रयत्न केला, फ्री ऑफ स्टॅम्प ड्युटी. आंबेडकरांचं एक पुस्तक आहे, तुम्ही वाचलं असेल, अनटचेबल्स. या पुस्तकामध्ये वाचत असताना महारत्नाच्या जागांबद्दल किंवा महारांना दिल्या गेलेल्या जमिनींबद्दल खूप इंटरेस्टिंग माहिती आहे. सो दिस बुक बाय डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर talks about how and why the lands were given to Mahars. He says that if the broken men were eating beef from the very beginning, then obviously the theory cannot stand. For if they were eating beef from the very beginning and nonetheless were not treated as untouchable, to say that broken men became untouchables because of beef eating would be illogical if not senseless. The second question is relevant if not crucial. If Brahmins gave up beef eating and non-Brahmins imitated them, why did the broken men not do the same? The answer to first question is that even during the period when beef eating was not common to both the settled tribesmen and broken men, a system had grown up whereby the settled community ate fresh beef, while broken men ate the flesh of the dead cow. We have no positive evidence to show that members of the settled community never ate the flesh of a dead cow. पुढे ते म्हणतात की the evidence consists of facts which relate to the Mahars of Maharashtra, to whom reference has already been made. As has already been pointed out, the Mahars of Maharashtra claim the right to take the dead animal the right they claim against every Hindu in the village. This means that no Hindu can eat the flesh of his own animal when it dies. He has to surrender it to the Mahar. This is merely another way of stating that when eating beef was common practice, the Maharsar ate dead beef and the Hindus ate fresh. In this connection, reference may be made to the tradition current among the Mahars, according to which they claim that they were given 52 rights against the Hindu villagers by the Muslim king of Bidar. Assuming that they were given by the king obviously did not create them for the first time. That may have been existence from the ancient past. म्हणजे पार्थ पवारनी जी जागा घ्यायचा प्रयत्न केला त्याचं सर्कल आपल्याला कळलं का की शोषित हे नेहमीच शोषित होते, आजही शोषित आहेत आणि त्यांच्यावर शोषण करणारे आजही सहज पैसा कमावत आहेत. हे जर तुम्हाला माहिती असेल, हे पुस्तक तुम्ही वाचलं असेल तर तुम्हाला नीरज घेवांची होमबाउंड सिनेमा पण तो कळू शकेल की त्यांनी त्याचं काय मत आहे. तो जेव्हा म्हणतो की मला कोविडच्या काळामध्ये तुम्हाला आयसोलेट केलं आहे, माझ्या अख्ख्या पिढ्यांना हजारो वर्षांपासून आयसोलेट केलं आहे. थोडक्यात चांगली पत्रकारा ही आजही होत आहे, आजही होत राहील. आव्हानं असतील त्यामुळे प्रोफेशनबद्दल तुम्हाला आकर्षण वाटतं ही पण गोष्ट खरी आहे. आज पत्रकारांचे स्वतंत्र स्वर कमी असतील थोड्याफार प्रमाणात, कारण एकूण गोंगाट वाढला आहे. पण हा स्वतंत्र स्वर कायम ठेवला तर हळूहळू आवाज वाढेल आणि तीच पत्रकारिता शिल्लक राहील. बाकी भोंगे सरकारी भाट बनून राहतील. ते भाट आहेत याची जाणीव सामान्यांना झाली. धन्यवाद.